Hey, what's up? Welcome to this new video. This one is paper 1 of May-June 2008 of course A-level math. So with that being said, let's move on to question number 1. So in this question we have, in the triangle ABC, AB is 12, angle BAC is 60, angle ACB is 45, find the exact value of BC. Okay, so for example here you can draw something to help you out. We have a triangle ABC, A, B, and C. For example, I don't know if that is the exact shape or not. It is just an illustration. That is A, B, and C. AB is 12. And we have the angle BAC. This one is 60. Angle ACB, 45. We have to find the length of BC. So pretty easy. In this case, since we know the two angles, we know this side, we can use the sine rule, right? So we have 12 over the sine of 45 have to equal to what value? Here we have BC, we don't know, over sine of 60. Now obviously here we are trying to find the exact value, so we have to know the exact value of this and the exact value of this. So sine of 45 is what? And sine of 60 is what? This one is root 3 over 2. We can check. Sine of 60 is this, root 3 divided by 2. Same thing. Now what is sine of 45? Should be this, which is root 2 divided by 2. So over time, I think with practice, you guys will have to find out those values exactly. I would definitely recommend memorizing them. It is up to you. Now I think it depends on your calculator as well, because sometimes it does provide you with the exact value already, so you don't need to memorize. Now replace back in the main equation. You have 12 over sine 45 will be root 2 over 2 is equal to BC. Value of sine 60 will be root 3 over 2. Now we can simplify. Obviously we have to find BC, so BC will become subject. Send this over here will be 12 root 2. We can send this on top to here. Have to multiply by this value over here. So it might be confusing right now. Let me simplify it first, so we're not confused by this. At first I have 12 divided by root 2 over 2. Now we know when we had divide, we like to change this to multiply. So that will be 12 multiply. When you change that to multiply, we have to flip this upside down. That will be this, and that will be 24 over root 2. That's the first one. Now for this one, I have BC over root 3 over 2. Same as 2 BC over root 3. So right now we have what? On one side we have 24 over root 2 is equal to 2 BC over root of 3. Now divide by 2, that will be 1, that will be 12. Simplify, BC is equal to, we send this over here, that will become 12 root 3 over root 2. Now we can of course try to simplify this, so we have to multiply by root 2 here and by root 2 upwards as well, so we don't change the fraction, right? That will be 12 root 6 over the value of 2. That should be 6 root 6, and that will be BC. For the exact value you have to write centimeter as well. Now let's move on to the next question. We have to show that the equation this equal to this can be written in this form. So let's find out. We have 2. Now what is tan theta? It is sine theta over cos theta. But now we have square, that will be just square and square. Multiply by cos theta is equal to 3. Now we can simplify, obviously. This cancel out with this, and then we can just cross multiply. So you have 2 sin square theta is equal to 3 cos theta. Now this one can be simplified too as well. We have 2 sin square theta is 1 minus cos square theta. that will be 3 cos theta. Now simplify, you will have 2 minus 2 cos square theta equal to 3 cos theta. Simplify, send this over here. Oh, this over here you will have 2 cos square theta plus 3 cos theta minus 2 is 0. This is exactly shown as required by the question. Now for part 2, hence means using this part, we have to solve the equation for the value of theta between 0 and 360. So pretty easy. So here we have 2 cos square theta plus 3 cos theta minus 2 is 0. This one is a quadratic equation. That will be 2 cos theta. 2 is 2 times 1. To get plus 3, we have to have plus 4 minus 1. Cos theta is 1 over 2. Cos theta is minus 2. Now this one will be invalid because the value of cos theta can only be between the value of minus 1 and 1. This will not be possible. You can also check. Cos inverse of 2 is error. Cos inverse of minus 2 is also mistake. Not possible. Now for this one, pretty easy. Since the value of cos is positive, it will be in the first quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. This will be simply the value of theta. This is 360 minus theta. So theta will be simply cos inverse of half. That should be 60 degrees. And the other angle will be 360 minus 60. That should be 300. So we have two values for theta will be 60 and 300 for the angle as required. Let's move on to the next question. So here we have to find the first three terms of this expansion in ascending powers of x of this. So pretty easy. The first term will be, here the power is 5, so we write 5, choose 0. Here we have 2, and here we have plus x squared. Because here we have 0, this will be 0 as well. 5 minus 0 is 5, that will be 5. Next term will be plus 5, choose, after 0 we have 1, obviously. Then we have 2 here, and then x squared. 1 here, 1, and that will be 4. And then the third term, that will be 2 here, and x squared. That will be square, and then that will be 3 over here. So now we just have to simplify one by one. So what is 5 choose 0? This is 1. 2 power 5 should be 32, but let's check. That is 32 indeed. Here we have 1, because anything power 0 is just 1, okay? And then here we have 5 choose 1 is 1, so I have 5. Here we have 16, and that will be x squared. And here we have 5 choose 2 should be 10. Let's check. It is 10 indeed. And 2 power 3 should be 8, and that will be x power 4. Now simplify, that will be 32 plus 5 times 16, that should be 80, plus the value of 80 x power 4. That is part 1 of the question. Now as we can see, here we have hence. Hence it means we have to use part 1 of your answer and find the coefficient of x power 4 in this expansion. So one by one, at first we have 1 plus x squared times this expansion, which is this, right? That is from part 1. So we have to expand all this, and we only care about the coefficient in x power 4, which is the term in x power 4, right? But your answer will be just the coefficient, which is the value in front of x power 4. Now we have to simplify this one by one. First, let's expand this bracket. You will have 1 plus 2x squared plus x power 4. Multiply by 32 plus 80 x power 4. Now, we have to choose which one that we will use, because we only care about the term in x power 4. Now you have two choices. One, you can expand everything and then simplify and choose your result for your term in power 4, or you can pick and choose which one you want to multiply so you get your answer directly. For example, here I have 1. Obviously 1 will have to multiply by this one, right? You will have 1 times 80x power 4. Now next one, here we have 2x squared. Obviously, we have to multiply by this one. So we get something in x power 4. And finally, we have this one. Obviously, we have to multiply by the constant value. To simplify, you will have 80 x power 4. That will be 160 x power 4 plus 32 x power 4. So simplify 80 plus 160 plus 32. That should be 272 x power 4. Now, however, your answer should be just the value of a, which is the one in front, which is a coefficient. That will be 272 as your answer for this question. Let's move on to the next question. The equation of the curve C is given to you by this, and the equation of the line L is given to you by this. Equation number 1, equation number 2. Right. Now, part 1, find the x value of the points of intersection of L and G. Now, intersection, obviously, we have to solve a simultaneous equation. So here we can make y become subject. That will be 3 minus x. Replace y in this equation. You will have 3 minus x is equal to 2x squared minus 8x plus 9. Send everything to one side. You will have 2x squared minus 8x plus x plus 9 minus 3 is 0. So 2x squared minus 7x plus 6 will be 0. Simplify. That will be 2x, x, and 6 can be 2 times 3. So 2 times 3. 6 can be 2 times 3, right? So we choose 2 here. We need minus 4, minus 3 to get minus 7. X will be 3 over 2. X will be the value of 2. Or you can write x will be 1.5, or can be 1.2. For the part 1 of the question, just the x value of the point of intersection. Now, part 2, we have to show that one of these points is also a stationary point of C. So pretty easy. Let's find the stationary point of C. So how can we find this? We know that at the stationary point of C, the value of dy by dx have to be 0. Let's first find dy by dx. So y of the curve is 2x squared minus 8x plus 9. So dy by dx will be what? Will be 4x minus 8. Now we have to check. For the point where the value of x is 1.5, let's see what happens. So dy by dx at 1.5 is 4 times 1.5 minus 8. That will be what? Minus 2. So it is not good. Now the point where the value of x is 2, let's check what happens. Dy by dx at the value of x times 2, that will be this, that will be 8 minus 8, and that will be 0. Here you go. So we prove that at the point where x equal to 2, dy by dx is equal to 0, which proves it is a stationary point. And that will be part 2 of the question. Now let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows a circle, center O, and radius 5. Okay, good to know. And the point P lies on the circle. PT is a tangent to the circle. So here we have 90, right? We have to know this property because when we have a tangent and the point here which touches the circle joins with the center, the angle here will have to be 90. Now what else? The line OT cuts the circle at the point Q. OT, right here, Q. Now we also know that OT is also 5 because it is also the radius, right? OQ, not T. Now what else do we need to know? Now part 1, we have to find the perimeter of the region. So step by step, we have to find the perimeter. That have to be the distance around the region. It is defined by Q, T, P, T, and PQ. So we know the value of PT already. It is 12. Of QT we don't know yet. Of PQ we don't know yet. Now PQ is pretty easy. It is what? How can you find this this length? Let's see. So what else do we have here? Circle radius 5. PT is this. Is a tangent this. Okay, so now we have the line cuts this at the line Q at this. Okay, good. Nothing much we have to know here. So we have this and that. So there's a few things we have to do actually here. Pretty interesting question. I mean, not too bad, but kind of interesting. For example, we have to find PQ and we have to find QT. But let's take out the triangle that we can see here. We have this triangle. So we have T here, we have P here, we have O here. This is 5, this is 90, and this is 12. Now, to find the side PQ, we know it is length of arc. We have to find the angle, this angle, right? Now, to find this angle, obviously we can use SOHCAHTOA because it is a right angle triangle. So let's use SOHCAHTOA. That's the first step. Here we have the A side, A side, A side. Here we have the O side. That will be this. So we have tan of the angle that we don't know. That is angle POT is equal to the opposite side, which is 12, over A side, which is 5. Right. Now we have this equation. So POT is what? It is simply tan inverse of 12 over 5. That will be in terms of radians, 1.176. This is the angle right here. Now again, how do I know it's radians or degrees? So whenever you work with circular measure for A-level math, please use radians. So to find the length of PQ, pretty easy. We have to use the formula, which is r theta. R is the radius, which is 5, times the angle, theta here is 1.176. So answer times 5 should be 5.88 for the value of PQ. Now what is the value of QT? QT is this part. Now we understand that to find QT, we must first find OT and then minus OQ to get QT, obviously. So to find QT, we must first find OT minus OQ. OQ is a value of 5. Now we have to find OT. Now what is OT? OT can be found by using the Pythagoras theorem. We have this side, this side. It is a right angle triangle, so we can use that. That will be OT square will be 5 square plus 12 square. So OT will be root of 169. Let's check. 25 plus 144 will be 169. Root of that will be 13. OT is the value of 13. To replace, you will have 13 minus 5 will be what? 8. So the value of QT will be 8. So here we have 8. So add. Let's see, what do we have? 8 plus 12 plus 5.88. That should be 25.9. Correct your 3SF. That is part 1 of the question. Now for part 2, we have to find the area of the region. Okay, again, as always, to find the area, we have to break it down to step by step. So the first thing we can do here is what? We can find the area of the whole thing. So number 1, we can find the area of triangle OPT. Pretty simple. It's half times base and times height. Because it is a right angle triangle. That will be, simplify, that will be 30. Now, second thing, we have to minus the one that we don't want, which is the area of the sector right here. As you guys must know by now, to find the area of sector, we use our formula, which is half r square theta. Half is half, r square is 5 square. Theta is the angle in between, that is 1.176. So half times 25 times 1.176. That'll be 14.7. So finally, to find this one, 30 minus your value should be 15.3. That is your value. Correct your 3SF for the area of the shaded region. Let's move on to the next question. The function f is defined by this, for which x has to be more than 0. Okay, good to know. Now part 1, we have to obtain an expression for f prime of x, and hence explain why f is an increasing function. So one by one, let's first find f prime of x. It is simply differentiation of this one, that should be 3, 3x plus 2, minus 1, that should be 2. Then multiply by dx of the value inside, that should be 3. This will be 0. That will be 9, 3x plus 2 squared. So you can explain, since this value here, since 3x plus 2 squared has to be more than 0, we can confirm that 9 times will always be more than 0. Because of that, it is an increasing function. If that makes sense, it is positive. That's the main idea behind this. Now part 2, obtain an expression for f inverse of x and state the domain of f inverse. So step by step, let f of x be y. So y right now it is 3 plus 2 cube minus 5, right? So we have y plus 5 is equal to 3x plus 2, that will be 3. So 3x plus 2 have to be cubic root of y plus 5. Then 3x equal to minus 2 plus, so minus 2 plus cubic root of y plus 5. So finally x have to be minus 2 plus cubic root of y plus 5 divided by 3. Now obviously we have to write this down in terms of x. So f inverse, it is in terms of x. That will be minus 2 plus cubic root x plus 5 over the value of 3. Right. So now we have to also find the domain of f inverse. So let's see. So now we have to understand, we have to define the domain such that f inverse does exist. Now this one is a cubic curve, as we can see right here. Usually cubic curve has 3, so here it is more than 0 as well. So domain was defined already as more than 0, which is a very good thing. Now usually we find domain of f inverse as the range of f. Right. So how can we find this? Range of f is this. For the values of x equal to 0, right? What is that going to be? That is going to be 3 times 0 is 0 plus 2. That will be 2. 2 power 3 will be 8. 8 minus 5, that should be the value of 3. So as you can see, the graph, since the graph will always be going up, increasing function, always be going up, the minimum point defined by the x value here is 3. So it means that the curve will look something like this. From the value of 3, right? This is the y value, is 3. It keeps going up from that point on. Now, this is the range of f, which is y, is more or equal to 3. However, to define the domain, we have to write that in terms of x. X have to be more than 3. That will be your answer for part 2 of the question. So let's move on to the next question. The first term of a geometric progression is 81. So no, it is, the first term is 81 and it is the geometric progression. Now, as soon as we know the type of progression, I will always advise to write the formulas, for this progression. For example, I know that the nth term will be a r n minus 1. The sum to infinity will be a over 1 minus r. Again, this is given to you on your list of formulas, so you don't need to memorize this by heart. Now, and the fourth term here, which is t4, which will be a r power 3, has to be 24. This is given to you by the question. Now part 1, we have to find the common ratio, which is the value of r of this progression. So pretty easy. Here we have a r power 3 is 24, a is 81, so 81 times r power 3 is 24, which means r power 3 will be what? 24 divided by 81, that will be 8 over 27. So from this we conclude r have to be cubic root of the value will be 2 over 3. So r is 2 over 3. r is the common ratio, is 2 over 3. That is part 1. Now for part 2, we have to find the sum to infinity of this progression. So pretty easy. Sum to infinity will have to be a, which is 81, over 1 minus r, which is 2 over 3. That will be 81 over 1 over 3. So let's find out. 1 minus 2 over 3 is 1 over 3. 81 divided by answer should be 243 as the sum to infinity. Now that is part 2 of the question. Now let's move on. So here we have the second and the third term of this progression are the first and the fourth terms respectively of a arithmetic progression. So let's first write down what is the second term and the third terms of the geometric progression. So the first term was 81. Second term will be 81 times 2 over 3. That should be 54. And third term times 2 over 3, 36. So second and third term of this geometric progression will be the first and second term, first and fourth term. So first and fourth term of an arithmetic progression. First term will be 54 and fourth term will be 36. So let me write this down. Obviously now this is two different questions. First term will be 1 and the fourth term will be 36 of this AP. Now first thing first, since we know the type of progression, I will advise you first write down the formulas we know for this progression. The nth term will be given to you as well, which is a plus n minus 1 times d. So the fourth term, when n is equal to the value of 4, that will be 36. A is 54, no 1. 54 plus n minus 1 will be 35 d. So we can find d pretty easily. So 36 minus 54 divided by 35. That should be minus 18 over 35 for the value of d. So again here I made a mistake. So 4 here, 4 minus 1 is not 35, is 3. That should be this, and that should be what? That should be minus 6. Please avoid those stupid mistakes. If you always do these kind of things, always double check your value at the end. Because this wasn't making sense, that's why I rechecked, and then I realized it was not the right answer. Okay, so now I do have the common difference. Let's see what is the question. I have to find the sum of the first 10 terms, so first 10 terms of this projection. So pretty easy. So first 10 terms, again, it is given to you by your formula, that is half times the value of n, which is 10, 2 times a, which is 2 times 54, plus, then we have n minus 1, that will be 9, times d, which is minus 6. So 2 times 54 plus 9 times minus 6, that will be 54 times 10 divided by 2. That should be 270 as your answer for the first sum of the first 10 terms. And that will be the question in regards to AP and GP. Let's move on to the next question. Function g and f and g are defined by these two equations. Okay. Now part 1, we have to find the values of k for which the equation this has two equal roots. Okay. Whenever we have equal roots, it means we have b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. But first, let's find that and that. So in this one we have f g of x. So let's find what is that equation, or what is that expression. That will be f is 4x, x is now g of x, that will be 9 over 2 minus x minus 2k e is equal to the value of x. Now we would like to simplify this, so we have to multiply by the denominator here. So multiply everyone by 2 minus x, because we want to eliminate the value at the bottom. That will become 36 minus 2k times 2 minus x, and n equal to x times 2 minus x. So simplify, that will be 36 minus 4k plus 2kx equal to 2x minus x squared. Let's send everything to one side. You will have x squared, right? And you will have minus 2x plus 2kx. Then we have plus 36 minus 4k equal to 0. Simplify, that will be x squared. And here I can have what? I can have factorize the value of x outside. We have x both here. I can have plus 2k minus 2, x outside, and then plus 36 minus 4k. Okay, so I want you guys to understand what happened here because it might confuse some people. So if you look at this, we have minus 2x plus 2kx. Now x and x are common. I can factorize x outside, so you'll have minus 2 plus 2k, which is the same as saying 2k minus 2. Okay, this is here. Now this is the value of 1 here. That will be b and that will be c. So because they have two equal roots, I can say b squared minus 4ac have to be 0. b squared is 2k minus 2 squared minus 4 times a and times c have to be 0. So now we can simplify one by one to see what happens. That will be 4k squared minus 2 times 2 times 2, that should be 8k, and plus 4 minus, so what is 4 times 36? That will be 144 plus 16k equal to 0. Okay, great. Now we will have to try to simplify this one by one. We have 4k squared minus 8 plus 16 should be plus 8k. And here we have plus 4, that should be minus 140 equal to 0. Now, as we can see, we have 4 here, 8 here, and 14. So we can try to divide by 4 and see what happens. That will become k squared. That will be 2k minus 35 is 0. So now we have a quadratic equation we can solve one by one. I mean by factorization or by using your formula. So that will be k times k. 35 is 7 times 5. To get plus 2, we have to have plus 7 minus 5. K can be minus 7. K can be the value of 5. That will be the two possible values of k for which f g of x equal to x has two equal roots. Now part 2. Determine the roots of the equation this for the values of k you found in part 1. Okay, so let's find the values of x. Now, when k is equal to minus 7, for example, I will have my equation over here, right? So let me write this down. That will be x squared minus 2x. So let me write this one down. It's easier to work with. So plus 2k here minus 2. That will be x here plus 36 minus 4k. Now, when the value of k is equal to 7, what happens? That will be x squared. We have 2 times minus 7 minus 2. That should be minus 16x. 36 minus 4 minus 7. That should be 64 equal to 0. Now we can factorize, obviously. That will be x times x. That will be 8 times 8. To get 16, we have to have minus 8 minus 8. So x equal to the value of 8. That is for the first case scenario. Now for the other case where k is equal to 5, you will have x squared 2 times 5 minus 2, right, for this one. That will be plus 8. And we have 36 minus 4 times 5, that should be 16. Okay, now we can try to factorize. 16 will be 4 times 4. We need plus 8, that will be plus 4 plus 4. So x will be the value of minus 4. Okay, so these are the solutions to that equation for each value of k. Let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows a curve for which dy by dx is given to you by this. So right now we know dy by dx is going to be minus k x power minus 3. That is dy by dx, where k is a constant. The curve passes through the points this and this. That is my x value, y, x value, and my y value. Now part 1, we have to show by integration the equation of the curve is equal to this. So now we understand equation of curve is to asking you to find the value of y. Now as we know, as we have seen in the past as well, to find y we have to integrate dy by dx. So let's do that. That will be minus k dx. So simplify. Let's take this value outside, minus k. Then here we have to first increase the power by 1. That will be minus 2. then divide by the power, and then we have plus c as the constant of integration. So let me continue here. So for now we have this is equal to k over 2 x power minus 2 plus c, which is the same thing as k over 2x squared plus c. Now we have two passing points, which is 118 and 43. So let's use the first one. When x equal to 1, y equal to 18, that will be 18, that should be k over here, that will be 2 times 1 is 2 plus c. Now we can simplify, obviously. To cancel out this value, we can multiply everyone by 2. So you will have 36, that will be k, and plus 2c. And this is my equation number 1. Now for this one, again, x and y value. When y equal to 3, that will be k over 2 times 16, that will be 32, right? 2 times 4 squared will be 32, and plus the value of c. Now to cancel out this value, I multiply everyone by 32. That will be what? 3 times 32 will be 96. 96 equal to k plus 32c. That is my equation number 2. Now I can make which one? Let me check. I can make this become subject, right? So k can be 36 minus 2c. Replace back in this equation, 96 equal to k, which is 36 minus 2c plus 32c. Simplify. Send this over here, you will have 96 minus 36, that will be 60. And you will have 30c. c will be the value of 2. Now find k. K will be the value of 36 minus 2 times 2. That will be what? 32. So let's find out. 36 minus 2 times 2, 32. Okay, so now we can place or replace back in the main equation. So y is going to be k is 32 over 2x squared plus 2. Now simplify. This will be this, and you will have 16 over x squared plus 2. That will be y equal to this, and this is shown as required. Now, the point P lies on the curve and has x value this. Okay, as we can see right here. Awesome. Now part 2, we have to find the area of this region. So as you can see, this one is area under curve. Now how do you find area under curve? We find this by using integration. So we just have to integrate. The curve is equal to 16. Now we can write this as 16 this and plus 2, right? Same thing. That'll be respect to dx. Limits will be 1.6 and 1. So that will be 16. Increase 1, that will be minus 1, divided by minus 1, plus 2x, and limits will be 1.6 and 1. That will be 2x minus 16 over x, limits 1.6 and 1. So simplify. First one, we have 2 times 1.6 minus 16 divided by 1.6. That will be minus 6.8, and then we have minus. Then we have 2 minus 1.6, that should be 0.4. So let me double check that again. So 2 times 1.6, right? And then we have the value of, oh, this is 16. Made a mistake for this one. So 2 times 1.6 minus 16 divided by 1.6. That will be good for this one. But this one, I think there's a mistake. 2 times 1 minus 16. That should be minus 14. So that will be this plus 14 for your value. So minus 6.8 plus 14, that should be 7.2 units square for the area. Now again, it is only kind of normal to understand that if your area is above the x-axis, it cannot be negative. And if you have a negative value here, there's something wrong. That's why I realized there was a mistake in my calculation. And then you can double check, and then you will end up with the correct value. And that will be the question in relation to finding the area and the equation of your curve. Let's move on to the next question. Now, relative to a point O, the position vectors of A and B are given to you by these. So I can rewrite them as OA will be 2, 1, 2. OB will be 3 minus 2P. These will be the position vectors of A and B. Now, part 1, we have to find the value of P for which OA and OB are perpendicular. It means they are at right angle. It means that the angle between them is 90 degrees. So pretty easy. If it is perpendicular, the dot product or the scalar product will have to be 0. That's the main idea behind this question. So OA is going to be 2, 1, 2. OB will be 3 minus 2P. Now multiply. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 times minus 2 is minus 2 plus 2P have to be 0. Simplify, that will be 6 minus 2 is the value of 4 plus 2P have to be 0. 2P have to be minus 4, so P have to be minus 2. This is the value of P for question part 1. Now for part 2, in the case where P equal to 6, we have to use the scalar product to find the angle this. So pretty easy. To find the angle AOB from O, we have to look out. So we have to have those two vectors, OA and OB. So to find the angle, pretty easy. As we guys know, we use the formula. So we have this dot product or scalar product of this have to be magnitude of OA and OB and the angle in between them. Okay, so let's find out. So OA was given to you by 1, 2, 1, 2. OB will be 3 minus 2, 6. And we have to find the length or the magnitude of OA and OB. Pretty easy. That will be 2 squared is 4 plus 1 plus 4. That will be root of 9. And that will be 9 plus 4 plus 36. That will be 49. Cos of AOB. So 2 times 3 plus 1 times minus 2 plus 2 times 6. That will be 16 divided by root 9 times root of 49. That should be 21. Equal to cos of AOB. From this, I can find the angle pretty easily. So conclusion, AOB have to be cos inverse of 16 over 21. Now it has to be in terms of degrees. Over here we have 16 divided by 21. Cos inverse, that will be 40.367. However, we need to provide the value correct to the nearest degrees. That will be 40 degrees as your answer. Now for part 3, express the vector AB in terms of P and hence find the values of P for which the length of AB is 3.5. So pretty easy. First we have to find AB. So as we know by definition, AB has to be OB minus OA. It's always going to be the second one first and then minus the other one. So if you guys want to understand this, I also made a video on my channel. If you guys want to search vector explanation, you will find this. So step by step, B will be the value of 3 minus 2P minus OA, that will be 2, 1, 2. 3 minus 2 is 1, minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3, P minus 2. Now, we know that the length of AB is going to be 3.5. So how can you find the length of this one? Again, we use the formula we know, which is root 1 square is 1, minus 3 square is 9, and we have P minus 2 square. That will be 3.5. That will be 10 plus the value of P minus 2 square. That should be 3.5 square. That will be 12.25. So simplify, you will have what? P minus 2 square will be 12.5 minus 10. That will be 2.25. And then P minus 2 will be plus minus root of 2.25. P will be 2 plus minus 2.25. So let's solve this. Root of 2.25 will be 1.5. So 2 plus answer, that should be 3.5 or p can be 2 minus root of 2.25, that should be 0.5. Okay, and that will be your question, part 3, where you have to find the values of p where the length is 3.5. Let's move on to the next question. Now, in the diagram, we have A and C lie on x and y axis respectively. So A and C, as we can see here. Now, the equation AC is given to you by this. That is good to know. Equation will be 2y plus x equal to 16. Now, this is the line AC. Now we can find those points. The point A is on the x-axis, and we know on the x-axis what happens? The value of y is 0. That will be, x will be 16. That is, your point A will be 16, 0. On the y-axis over here, what do we know? The value of x have to be 0. Replace, you have 2y plus 0 is 16, so y have to be 8. So the point C will be 0, 8. This and this. That will be 16, and that will be 8. Now moving on. The point B has value or coordinates 2 and 2, okay? And the perpendicular from B to AC meets AC at the point X. Okay, great. Now part 1, we have to find the value of X, so pretty easy. To find the value of X, as we can see, it is a point of intersection between the line BX and AC. So now we know the equation of AC already. We need to find the equation of BX. Now BX is a straight line. To find the equation of BX, we need to first find the gradient of BX. Now we know that BX is perpendicular to AC. We can use AC. So AC is 2y plus x equal to 16. So 2y have to be minus x plus 16. So y will be minus half x plus 8. So the gradient here of AC will be minus half, which means the gradient of BC will be 2. And the passing point here is 2, 2. I can use the two values that we have this here to find the equation of BC. So y minus 2 over x minus 2 have to be 2. Cross multiply, you have y minus 2 will be 2x minus 4. Continue. Y equal to 2x minus 4 plus 2, that should be minus 2. Now we have this equation, we have this, we just have to find the point of intersection so we can find the coordinates of x. So on one side you will have 2x minus 2 equal to minus half x plus 8. We can send this over here, that becomes 2.5x, and that will be 10. X will be the value of 4. Find the corresponding value of y. Y will be 2 times 4 will be 8, minus 2 is 6. So x will be 4, 6. Okay, now let's move on. The point is such that the quad ABCD has AC as line of symmetry. Okay, so now there's a point D that we don't know where it is, but it is given that if you have a point D somewhere over here, it will make AC become the line of symmetry. I think I kind of messed up by writing here. If we can draw something, that will definitely help us to find the point of D. Sorry. So for example, I had this here, right? This will be, for example, that was C, A, that was X, and that is B. Now the point D obviously will be somewhere over here. So the line AC can be the line of symmetry. Now how can you find that that point D? So if you think, we can just use vector move displacement or vector move. So from C going to B, how do we do this? So pretty easy. So from C, again, this is the point. So if you look at this, the point is what? The point is 8, 0. So if you go to B, that will be, first we have to move 1, 2, and then we have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. that'll be 2 and minus 6 to go to the value of this. Now to go to the value of D will be somewhere over here. You have to first move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 1, 2. So from the point C, that will be 0, 8, right? We have to move, as we have seen here by observation or vector move, we have to first move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 1, 2. So 6 and 2. That should be 6 and 10. That is solved by vector displacement. We can use that method to find the value of D. Obviously there's many ways we can do that. We can do the vector move here as well. First we can go to the value of x, 3, 4, right? So it is from this point we have to move 2 to go to 4 and then we have to move 4, so 2 here and 4 to go to x. Same thing here, go to the D. That makes sense. So that could be done as well. It's up to you. You can choose which method you can, or which value you want to use to go to the point D. Just a vector move, just use step by step. Now part 1, find correct to one decimal place the perimeter of ABCD. Okay, so pretty easy. To find the perimeter, we must find the distance around the object. So since I have all the points that I need, I can find them one by one. So perimeter will be, distance around will be AB plus BC plus CD and DA. Now since we know this and this are the same as this and this, we could just find out 2 times AB plus BC. Okay, so we can find the length of this and times 2 to find the perimeter. So one by one. A is the value of 16, 0, and B is the value of 2, 2. So we can find the length by using a formula, which is what? So we can do x2 minus x1, that should be 14 square, plus the value of 2 square, that should be 200. That's the value of AB, the length of AB. Now for BC, B is 2, 2, C was 0, 8. So same thing, that will be 2 minus 0 is 2, 2 square is 4, 4 plus 6 square. So again, 8 minus 2 will be 6, 6 square plus 2 square, that should be 40. So I hope you know how to find the length between 2 points. We just use the formula, okay? That will be 2. AB will be root of 20, 40. Times 2. That will be 40.9, correct to one decimal place. And of course you have to write units, not square. But that's it for the length, or for the perimeter of this, of A, B, C, and D.